Ha! Now you're all doing it. Ha 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 ha. Now you're all gonna yawn all day long. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Dr. Freedom here with you. Oh man, I just had this sudden thing. Because like we are talking, talking loosely about, whatever. Now and then I'll do the bit about 2001: A Space Odyssey and the Pod Bay Doors, and imagine if somebody took that and set it to one of the Cheech and Chong bits. I can't do that, Dave. I'm Dave. Dave's not here. I'm Dave. Okay. Yeah, people are already asking where there's Dugadoo plushies and stuff like that. But here's the problem. Remember, I've been talking about for weeks because I'd been sent some spoilers from Reddit, and this is yet another chapter that has come true. The last thing on that Reddit list is that Shooty Gatwa does not return for a third series. That's why I'm getting that's why everyone should be a little bit worried. Um, yeah, the last thing on that list of spoilers that I've been talking about, because I was seriously hoping the bi generation of the Ronnie was going to be leaked disinformation, because remember, this was supposed to be a rare mythological event that was extremely rare, and now it's happened twice. I'd like to be convinced that Shooty is staying, but that was another tick off the box of the leaks that I had that came true. And like I said, the last one on that list is Shooty is not returning for a third series. So, and that also goes with what a couple of people. Here's the problem. A lot of people are now holding the Nicola Methvin article up as stone cold, chisel, complete with God, message sent from God, complete with stone tablets, that the next series has been confirmed. And no. And like I said, Nicola Methvin is more right than she is wrong. But the problem is, there's also been when she's been wrong. And that's one of the things Thari's not printing out. It's one of the things that the confounded guy or whatever, the wind tunnel tested hairdo, has not talked about. Is there are times when she has been wrong. And from what I'm hearing, yeah, you're talking at least 2027 before you get another series, if you get another series. And of course, Susan, that was a bit of a surprise, because Susan apparently is supposedly coming back in the last episode, but there was no mention of her appearing in this one. So, I don't know if they're going to regenerate Susan or not, but remember, Carol Ann Ford is, I believe, 84 years old. Well, this week's ratings were higher than any of the ones previous. So, you also have to remember, overnights don't mean jack squat anymore, though. So if your overnights are low, you got to remember, a lot of the other episodes are premiering way before they show up on, the show shows up on BBC. They start streaming at midnight, and the BBC presentation is until later. So 90% of everybody is going straight to the thing and watching it on streaming, or torrenting it, and why would you watch it on the re-air when you've probably already seen it how many times when it's streaming? Yeah, you got the footy final. That always confounded me about, when you compare European, football to American football, it's kind of like, comparing the book World War Z to the movie World War Z. All they have really in common is the title. Okay, okay, but well, the thing is, I'm not going to discount anything, but also remember, Angela Ndoa was at the at the premiere screening, who plays Martha Jones's mom. Just because somebody was at a screening doesn't mean this, that, these, and those is going to happen. You also have to remember this was the 20th year anniversary of the new series. So, and so now there's speculation all over the place. Billy Piper is going to be the next Doctor. And it's like, what that's based off, I don't know. So, like I said, there were a lot of different people at that premiere. Exactly. American football, 99% of the game is done with hands and arms. And it's like, you punt the ball, yes. You kick field goals, yes. But yet we call it football. Maybe it's because handball was already taken. I don't know. But whereas the opposite is true over on in Europe and all that, where soccer, football, because 90% of the game's played with your feet. The problem with Billy with the Golden Eyes is that's easily fake now using AI. There's people creating entire AI trailers. So that's why it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. Because there's so many people running around using AI to make fake trailers and shit now. To me, the whole bi-generation thing was, stupid as hell. Like I said, I was never a fan of it. Yeah, Michelle Gomez was at the premiere as well. Angela Ndoa, like I said, Joe Martin, who of course, popped up as the fugitive doctor again. And here's my other favorite thing about the last episode. Everybody bitching about the 15th Doctor torturing that kid. The Doctor thought he had just killed Belinda along with all those people. So he lost it. Exactly, I agree with you, Terrence. There's also talks about Omega again. And I'm like, I don't really want anybody to show up at this point, considering how badly that RTD effed up Sutek. Sutek should have been wiping the floor with these a-holes. There shouldn't have been the companion walks up and hooks up the thing and they're going to take him for walkies. He's just going to sit there and watch as this thing gets hooked up to his collar. Exactly. Look at all the shit the 7th Doctor did. Or my other favorite one I love to bring up. Did everybody just suddenly forget about the end of, Family of Blood? They loved it when fucking... Oh God, well, there went my monetization. They loved it when Tennant did this shit. But now that Shooty does it, oh, no, he wouldn't have done that, blah, 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 blah. I'm saying, what a crock of shit. Belinda should have done more than just hug him and say, really? You're going to lecture the guy you just saw torturing somebody. Yeah, because this coming week we're smart. Now, like I said, if the spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, if this list continues to be accurate that we were given, you're going to see a younger version of the Ronnie played by an Asian actress riding on horseback in the episode. And so that could complete the unholy trinity. But like I said, somebody was also saying, is it Trinity Wells? And I'm like, please, no. Please don't be that stupid to make it a twist on a name. I did love it when Susan appeared. Because that's the first. I like a lot of people go, no, it's the first time she's appeared since. I'm like, did everybody suddenly forget she was in the Five Doctors and she was also in, oh God, Dimensions in Time? And once again, let me reiterate this for folks who've not been on this channel before. Dimensions in Time was the Doctor Who, in my opinion. What the Star Wars Holiday Special was to Star Wars. Okay? That bad. Okay, it's... Ugh. Just 1 calorie, not Doctor Who enough. It's the Diet Coke of Doctor Who. Sure, it was great to see all those doctors and companions back for that little snidbit, but really, why did you cross Doctor Who with EastEnders of all things, for one? And oh, goodness gracious. Like, anybody outside the country of the UK is going to know what the hell EastEnders is. That's like me saying, oh, yes, I know all about Corey, the Coronation Street. Yes, no, it's not going to happen. Yeah, I did like Susan showing back up. Like I said, I've been waiting for that moment for 20 freaking years on the new show. They brought back everybody and their grandmother, between the main show and Sarah Jane Adventures. And like I said, poor Ace, up till the point she finally got the pop back up, had gotten screwed over so many times, because she was supposed to be in the 5th series of Sarah Jane Adventures, and she was supposed to be in the 2nd series of Class. And then, fortunately, though, we did have, the properly done anniversary special, Power of the Doctor, which is what was what Era of the Zygons, aka the 8th anniversary adventure, Dump of the Doctor, should have been. Yet everybody praises that as, I'm like, yeah, we're the Zygons. We're running this planet in the 16th century. Let's go to the 21st century, where they have modern weaponry and outnumber us in the billions. using magical Time Lord technology that we somehow magically pulled out of our ass. But okay, and now we can shapeshift into anything, including bunnies and horses. Oh, well. But, yeah, I was very happy to finally see Susan Foreman pop up. And, of course, Pip and Jane Baker getting a mention in the credits as the creators of the Ronnie. I was very tickled to also see that. Yeah, Power of the Doctor nailed it for me. That is what an anniversary special could be and was. Yeah, I got a kick out of Graham Norton showing up because, I, an American, know who Graham Norton is. I watch a lot of his clips and such and, bits of his show on YouTube when they pop up. So, yeah, and guess who came in second? Israel, which is why Shooty dropped out. I'm like, folks, this shit's got to stop. Like I said, a country gets attacked, country retaliates. Now that country is the heavy. The country that's been attacked repeatedly over and over and over and over again finally retaliates again, and they're the heavy. Oh, well. I just looked at the time. I got to get going. I am way over. Please, just remember, be kind, be calm, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. I've got to get inside, so have a good one, everyone. Enjoy your Monday.